Good afternoon, everybody. There we go. We've got Epidemic Sound Instrumental playing in the background. Hopefully that's not competing with my situation. So I can hear myself think, whatever that means. Yeah, I want to be able to hear myself think. Let's see if we can bottle that. I don't think so. Yeah, we'll just stay away from that one. Okay, it's November 19th. Yep, it's Wednesday. And there is a lot going on. I mean, there is so much going on, I don't even know where to begin. So, when in doubt, let's look at the Elon Musk factor. Yeah, he is contemplating his navel. He's a well-minded fellow. He's not too far outside of the normal situation for a human being, I don't think. Anybody can go up and say hi to him. Kind of like Elon Musk. It's hard not to. Anyway, if I go back and look at all the... Look at this. There's the sun. This is a sunrise picture. And how do we know that? Because we can lift up on the image and look at the EXIF data, the EXIF data. And from your screen, if you just lift up on the image, the EXIF data appears. Wednesday, November 19th at 6:42 a.m. Yep. Nice. Nicely done. Daniel took this one. He submitted it to us. I took the liberty of diddling with it a little bit. You make sure the horizon is always horizontal. You don't want a little tiddly-widdly, You want to make sure your buildings go up and down. So it needs to be squared off on the image like that. I took an average between this and this and that, yeah. So, oops, that's where I come up with, this palm tree. I deepened the shadows so you can see almost no detail when it comes to what's in the foreground. So, for the sake of this image, the sunrise just peeking over the edge of water. It's the perfect time to snap that picture. Just the perfect time. Yeah. You can look it up in the Funkin' Wagnalls, and it's going to say 6:42 a.m. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. That's a good one. I like that one. You got the lifeguard thingy. Okay, and you got the single stake. There's a sign on there probably. You got the single palm. It has a little curvature in the trunk. Yeah. And it's got a nice little bunch of palm fronds. You don't have a lot of rotten ones hanging there. Looks pretty good. The coconut part. It's nice. It's good. good balance to that photo. Nice deep colorations. You got the blue sky moving right into this brilliant red. Oh gosh, so good. I was working with a friend of mine. I'm looking at this valuation. What's wrong with this cost? The total development cost, $3.7 million on this particular property. Yeah. $800,000 piece of dirt, improved with $2.9 million worth of stuff, you know. You can't build this house without paying for the building permits. You can't open the front door without paying your water sewer connection fee. There's a soft cost of $162,000. You got to add that in there. You know, there's not much. You know, the only argument they could have, anybody could have, in looking at this presentation, which yours truly developed, is, you know, the cost of the land. It costs them $17,000 to buy the property. You know, review title, whatever. So he's got $850,000 put of dirt for an acre of land underneath this house. And they didn't have an argument with the valuation, you know, of the property. That's the only thing I could have thrown a monkey wrench into. So anyway, Lyle busted, I'll just say it, what the heck. Go on. If you're too young, cover up your ears. Lyle busted his ass to build this house over a 2-year period of time. He was there, he was not there, he's walking around, he ruined 2 pairs of shoes probably, which he didn't throw in the budget. And, you know, so you're entitled to some entrepreneurial profit. You don't bust your ass for 2 years. And you got, you know, $2.9 million worth of hard costs, you know, that you funded out of your pocket, by the way. You built it out of pocket. So, Lyle asked me to review an appraisal, which, you know, how do you not do, right? Jeez, what am I doing? I need to look at the pictures. So, we want to look at all the pictures. Recent. Oh, no, that ain't the library. Oh, gosh. There's a new virus flying around. It's a variant of the COVID virus. I assume that's what they meant. Potentially a severe flu variant is spreading in the USA. And of course, until people stop dropping dead, you really don't know how, Anyway, we gotta get to the bottom of that. Her hands are red because they're cold. Of course, they're cold. Okay, sweetie, get dressed. I don't know if I got that. Did it work? There we go. Turn up the plug. Gotta get it. I tell you, there you go. Come back to this. Yeah. Bingo. Our hands are not bloody. It's just cold out there. Yeah. Here's Google. We need to brighten him up a little bit, don't you think? Jesus. I know why I'm hitting everything twice. There we go. It is. There you go. We're going to deepen this one up a bit. Yeah. Turn up the color. Yeah, let's get Google in its crown and glory. And then we're going to do a little bounce out there with the, change the color temperature. There, that looks good. That looks real good. Yeah. $1969 Grumman American. That's a nice classic looking animal. Here you go. Waymo is expanding. It's trying to keep up with the Miami, Dallas, Houston, and other cities. Trying to keep up with Tesla. I think Tesla has a better. There's another weird looking vehicle that's being offered to Elon and company. Where did he go? That's supposed to be unpinned. We'll put him in the middle. Just to separate those two guys. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, also. Can you please confirm about I think we got it. All right. I think we can shrink that down. This is supposed to be center right there. All right, where'd Jimmy go? Hello? I'm still here, aren't I? Yes, you are, sir. Thank you for not complaining. No, I am complaining. No, I'm not. What are you gonna do? You gotta cooperate. You don't want to be uncooperative, right? I've always been cooperative. I don't need to look at the mail. I can just go to my photo album. Because I saved a whole bunch of really good images here. Yeah. Whoops. Just can't live for living. Yeah, the annual shareholder meeting. That was unique. He's got a robot on the screen there. A little bit out of focus. Fine focus on annual shareholder meeting 2025. But the image there. That's actually a taped replay of it. You play that, you start all over again. I think we've had enough of the annual shareholder meeting. That's pretty good. Elon Musk got his pay plan approved, which is $1 trillion plan. I mean, it's over like 8 or 10 years. He has to hit these milestone markers, which basically when you sell another. They built the first one, and they got everything all glued together and everything. Then after you've got the first one working, then you start. There we are, back to live color. Never left y'all. No. I got more action per the dual destiny system. Yepper. Oh. Gargle it to me. All right, we're sitting here with a blood sugar 210. That's not. It goes over the chart. That's kind of silly. Let's see if I can set the limits on this thing. All right, where is that? Storm and Norman. Just took the big hippo. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Phew. It's 2:45. Time flies when you're having a good time. Remember, you're having afternoon coffee with Jimmy. I'm having my traditional. What does that sound like? Sounds like a Diet Pepsi to me. There's a little qualitative analysis for you. Yeah. This epidemic sound instrumental it just gets in your bones. Feels good. Yeah. All right, let's oops. I don't know where I am. Okay, you've been paying attention to. All right. God bless you. I'll ask me if I wanted to review the. You want a copy of the loan documents? I got real quiet with that. I don't think so. Yeah. I don't mind reviewing loan documents for my own loans, but someone else's loans, I'll look at them, but you gotta pay for that service. Yeah, all right, what we got going here? I guess we better do a search for a while. There we go. I don't think I got a copy of the loan docs. Here's the appraisal. That was a disaster. What do we got going here? Get the whole. Hi, Chuck.
So we finna do that egg challenge to see who can eat the egg the fastest, and we're not gonna do.
Open. TikTok. No TikTok. No TikTok for Jimmy. No, I don't think so. I haven't been able to. TikTok is, you gotta, yeah, no thanks. Bingo, let's get out of there. Khashoggi. Yeah, Khashoggi. That's scandal, if you're wondering what that is. Yeah, that's where Khashoggi was on a video feed going into the Saudi Arabian embassy in a foreign country. That's usually how it goes, right? Well, he walked into the embassy, but he didn't walk out. So what happened? Well, without getting into all the gore and all that, he walked in, but he came out in a suitcase. Yep, they somehow or other sliced him up. He sliced or broke him up. Either way, he ended up in one or more suitcases. Yeah, so that's what they're talking about here. It says the Saudi crown visits the United States since the Khashoggi scandal. And the scandal is that, the Crown Prince supposedly wasn't aware of it, that this gentleman walked into his embassy and didn't walk out. So some foreign dignitary had challenged him, their administration, on that point, and the Crown Prince basically said, stick in your ear. It's none of your goddamn business what happened to Khashoggi. Yeah, that's how that played out. Yeah. So Khashoggi was brought back into memory. Yeah. He didn't make it. I don't know what he was fiddling with, but the Crown Prince apparently didn't like it. Yeah, so he was adiosed. Someone adiosed him. He says, well, you got a lot of people in your administration. We got a lot of people floating around in my administration too. And I don't really know what happened to Mr. Khashoggi. I don't know who he is. And if he had no one ever came up with the body. Where'd the body go? Why, hey, I don't know. I see. You showed me the newsreel that he walked into one of my embassies. I don't know what happened to him. He took a nap in there. I don't know what happened to him. Don't ask me. I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, they kept on digging and digging, and they reviewed the frames, frame by frame. They could see if he came back out or he just disappeared. I said, well, I see. That's right, he just disappeared. What do you want from me? Yep, that's what happened to Khashoggi. So now the media is saying, well, that's some fine howdy-do. He gets to buy all our fancy fighter jets, and he don't know what happened to Khashoggi. So he says, I don't know what happened to him. What the heck? It wasn't my turn to watch. Yeah. So that's what that's all about. Yeah, the Crown Prince says, I don't want anything to do with Khashoggi. Get out of my face. I want to go meet the President of the United States. Talk about important things. Not Khashoggi. All right, New York Post. I'm sure they had, if you go back in time, whenever, this was 7 years ago, something happened to Khashoggi. I'm sure New York Post had something nice to say about Khashoggi. Yeah. There you go. All right, it's coming up on 3 o'clock. I had a half a cup of little squirrely noodles. Yep, they were good. Looking at this plane, it brings back memories of my time flying not this. See, this is a wing that's where it's the cockpit is on top of the wing, so to speak. There's the cockpit. The wings goes underneath. Yeah. Well, the plane that I flew, and I flew one a long time ago. Okay, I have to go this way. Oh, while I'm talking about it, Sony XM5s. See, it's just the last. Let's make mention of that. Oops, look at that. What kind of doodad is that? I didn't do that. There you go. That's all I'm saying. The XM5s, they call them. That's a good underline there. Yeah. The XM5s. I had a little problem with this right in here. There's a connection issue right in there, and just broke off. You know, you take them on, you take them off, you take them on, you take them off. Well, I took them off one time, and I ended up with a two-piece program. I forget it was the right or the left ear cup. It just disconnected. I didn't like that. So I sent them back, and I got XM6s replacement. Yes, of course. Now, I'm telling you, the XM, it looks just like that. You can see them there. You can't see them. They're on my head. I wear them every day. I'll take them off and show you. Yeah, they look almost identical. Anyway, I have XM6s and I have XM4s. Don't have any of them, those other ones. Yeah. Look at this guy. This is one of those supervised. I need to.
It's 3 o'clock.
There we go. So we're gonna. Yeah. There we go. We're gonna darken that up a little bit, and we're gonna give that gentleman a little color. Yeah, he's quietly napping in the car. He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be watching over what the hell's going on there. He's supposed to be supervising this activity. The car's driving itself. You see, he's got his hands just touching the wheel. Now, they think he's sleeping. He may just have his head hanging down. He may be looking to see if his zipper is zipped. You know, you never can tell. These people will take a picture of whatever the hell they take a picture of. Anyway, so... did they say, hello, are you awake? Mr. Employee of a Tesla safety driver. So they're in a Tesla car. From the looks of the steering wheel, and I guess they're correct. And anyway, Arizona said, sure, bring in your robotaxi. Works for us. They just got to, they asked to be recognized there with a robotaxi, and Arizona said okay. I'm waiting for Florida to say okay. DeSantis needs to speak to the state of Florida. I should, let's do a little Google search. Has Florida approved, whoops, let's just ask the question. See what happens. All right, bingo. Let's do AI. It's going to search through all the records. Oh my God. Thousands of records have been searched. And what was the answer? There we go. Florida has not specifically approved Tesla robotaxi service for commercial use as of yet. Okay, but state law generally allows the operation of full autonomous vehicles on public roads without human present. Tesla must still complete the necessary regulatory paperwork and meet all state and federal safety and insurance requirements before such service can begin. All right, so what does that mean? Florida has an open door policy towards autonomous vehicles. Whoa, there we go. That's what that sounded like up there on the top. Florida has an open door policy towards autonomous vehicle companies and was one of the first states to fully legalize the operation of AVs on public roads. The laws signed in 2019 generally establishes that fact. A licensed human operator is not required to operate a fully autonomous vehicle. I guess who determines if it's fully autonomous? I guess the factory does. Tesla. The automated driving system is considered the operator of the vehicle when engaged. AVs must meet applicable federal safety standards and be capable of complying with all state traffic laws. Vehicles used in an on-demand autonomous vehicle network, like robotaxi service, must have a minimum of $1 million in primary liability coverage, which of course Tesla will self-insure. So they'll write themselves a liability thingy, because if someone sues them, they want the insurance system to meter out the claims. Vehicles must be capable of achieving a minimum risk condition, EI, pulling over safely and stopping in the event of a system failure. Local governments are prohibited from imposing their own taxes or requirements on AVs used for passenger transportation. Local governments are prohibited from imposing their own taxi laws. Aha! There we go. Local government. That's important. All right, let's. Now that we know all that, Tesla's current full self-driving system is classified as a Level 2 advanced driver assistance system. Regarding the Florida statutes, meaning the human driver remains legally responsible. Yeah, it does not yet meet the criteria for a full driver's under the state's statutes, which is a higher level of automation, level 4 or 5. Reports indicate that while Florida regulations are considered looser, I guess that is, and potentially an easier path for Tesla, than the company has not yet completed the essential paperwork to begin a commercial robotaxi service in our state, including Florida. Any commercial deployment will require specific regulatory compliance at both the state and federal levels. Okay. That's why God made lawyers. Tell me, am I... The CEO of Tesla looks over askance at his legal team and says, "So what does that mean? Am I... Can we have our cars? Can we throw them out there on the road and see what happens?" They don't seem to be creating a big muss or fuss. Or, there we go. Whoops. I don't think I wanted to do that. Are Tesla robo-taxis coming to Florida? Elon Musk thinks so. So what's to know? We just did that. There we go. I touched something I wasn't supposed to touch. Division of Motorist Services. Procedure TL68. All right, they have paperwork to fill out. So all they gotta do is fill it out and just get to it. You know, they're ready to fly like an eagle. You know that. No, Florida has not yet officially approved. Let's go over here. This is an overview. No, Florida has not yet officially approved Tesla's fully autonomous robo-taxi. Though the state has the legal framework that allows for self-driving vehicles with a human safety driver. And Tesla has stated its intention to bring the service to Miami. They're hiring people already, actually, or they're looking to meet people and resumes and whatever. While the state's regulations are considered more relaxed, Tesla needs to complete its own internal and regulatory steps before a full rollout can begin. All right. So there's paperwork they have to do. They have to basically determine that they basically make a statement and say we've tested our systems. We've driven hundreds of thousands of miles, millions of miles, if you will, and we think we're ready to fly like an eagle. Any complaints? Anybody? Hello? There we go. Here we go. See, if you keep asking the question, you keep getting different answers. Florida has not specifically approved a Tesla robotaxi service by name, but it has established a legal framework, for those things. Legal status of autonomous vehicles in Florida. Legality of operations. In 2019, that set out the framework. Commercial draw, okay. Safety and insurance requirements. Okay. Regulatory intent. The Florida legislature's intent is to provide a uniform statewide laws governing autonomous vehicles preventing local laws from imposing their own thing. That would make a real mess out of it. And of course, Elon Musk says, we want to do it. We're going to do it. All in favor? Yeah. So in summary, Florida laws are permissive of Tesla's future plans. But the service itself is not yet operational or specifically approved beyond the existing legal framework for all autonomous vehicles. All right, well, a framework? What the framework's framework? What the hell does that mean? All right. We'll just do a little screen capture of that and put this in the public record of Jimmy's important things to not to forget, in which it's being shown on my show, which is a Simulcast between 3 social networks: Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live. All right, a little artificial intelligence gave us. I'd like to know about Tesla's plans. All right, let's click that and see what happens. Thinking. Remember, we're still in autonomous AI mode. See above, top left corner, next to the G, it says AI mode, all news, images, shopping, and more. So we're still in AI mode. I clicked what seemed to be a rhetorical question, and this is the answer we get. Tesla's robotaxi plans involve a phased rollout, so they're going to phase it in just like they did in Texas or California. Where the guy is sitting over in the passenger seat. And they're going to do that just to get everybody comfortable that they're doing what they should be doing to make sure these things don't end up, in a whole bunch of mishmash on the turnpikes and the road systems in general. So they're going to roll it out in a few cities, and if everything is copacetic, they'll roll it out in more cities, and they're going to get the public up to speed that there are going to be cars riding around there with no steering wheels and no brake pedals. But they got eyes looking in all directions at the same time with a frequency of at least 35 frames per second. That's the current frame rate of HW4. HW5 doesn't exist yet, at least not to my knowledge. HW4, what does that mean? That's hardware version 4 for the cameras, the systems, the subsystem architecture, the computer itself, the actuators that work the braking system, the actuators that work on the steering wheel, left and right turns, the motors, all-wheel drive systems and all that, the brake pedals. We have a Tesla vehicle, and we rarely ever use the brakes because you can let up on the accelerated pedal when it goes into regeneration of energy mode, which has a strong effect on the motor because the motors then become generators, and their rotation creates an energy field, which then is converted to electricity and gets pumped back into the battery. We did some analysis on this with our car several years ago and determined that the autonomous driving system in our vehicle pumped back in the batteries about 13% of the kilowatts that we used over a given period of time. There was this percentage applied. So if you pumped in, 1,000 kilowatts of power into your battery to charging it, when you use the electricity, it was as if the battery was, instead of 1,000 kilowatts, is like it was, 1,130 kilowatt battery because of that 13% factor. So that's what that means. It's like your battery is 13% bigger than it really is, because the regeneration system, when you let up on the pedal, puts energy back in the battery. So it makes it seem like it's a bigger battery than it really is. So there. Okay, so that answers a whole bunch of questions. Isn't that nice? You can just search the public record on every damn thing. Yeah, it's really good. It's answered some business questions for me over the years and recently. So I just want you to know that looking through, so they were asking questions, what are the best cameras for professional photographers? Well, I can tell you, I am and have been a huge fan of Canon. You see, that's Canon. Canon lens, an L lens. This is a 28 7. This is a 28 millimeter, 28 to, I forget the end focal length. Let's see, can I see it anywhere on that picture? It's not 28 to 200, it's like a 28 to 70, I think. I mean, it looks like that's 28. I just can't quite make that out. I may have that lens in my bag. I'll have to go look. They don't actually identify the lens. They're just saying the R5, which I have that camera, and I have or had that lens. Yeah. And you want to know the truth about it? The lenses, the camera system on these iPhones, yeah, they measure up pretty good to these guys. There have been a number of professional photographers, more than one, that have very specifically taken pictures with this kind of a gear and then compared it to the same, scene and captured with a recent vintage iPhone with its 45 million pixel imager inside that little. There's 3 cameras like that inside this iPhone. There's a wide angle, a normal lens, and a telephoto lens. And all 3 of those imagers that are behind those lenses, those lens systems, are 45 megapixel imagers. There's 3 separate imagers in the iPhone because you got 3 separate, those little dots. Those are the front faces of a camera system, and you can, if you move it around a little bit, you can see, the lens element or so. Yeah. And look at these guys. They are beautiful, heavy-duty equipment. And it takes magnificent pictures, I will say. But now if you're hired to take professional pictures, I don't care whether it's a wedding or a commercial event. I've taken pictures, for example, in the College of Education. They had a special event. It was a 2-day event. And they asked me if I would be willing to take pictures of that event. I have just logged into my website conveniently while I'm yickety-yakking over here. And this is, you see, health and wellness creates great images. There's my famous photo picture. Here we go. See, FAU events, with the pinch and the reverse pinch. I have my site so you can reverse pinch. Look at that beautifulity. Whew, this was taken a while ago. Let's just touch that picture. It opens up another whole series of what? FAU events. See, fluency in education. No, literacy in education. In February. January. I think that.
Info about February.
Yeah, I think we need to. There's a typo in there. That should be a J, not a F. You silly. Isn't that funny? That's the first time I've ever noticed that. Anyway, in January, let's click on her face. That's such a beautiful face. I used it as the cover of this whole thing here. And I was careful about this picture. Look at there's a bowl of apples over right behind her shoulder. And then you have another teacher there with her finger up at her lip and nose, contemplating whatever the speaker is saying. And that girl that has that little smiley grin, that girlish grin, she was just looking at me. And then she looked back over thinking I snapped the picture. Because, I was like 25 feet away. I couldn't say cheese. She just gave me a beautiful grin and I snapped that picture. And she actually was looking back and forth at me. What am I doing? She knew I was taking pictures. And because she's shy and, and all that stuff. She was blushing a little bit. Literacy and Education Conference. There's a little waviness in this writing there because this is a picture of one of those knapsacks that they give you, shoulder bags or whatever, backpacks that they made up and gave out to each participant. So I took a picture of that. and made that a sign for the conference. There you go. You know, have to be creative. That is the Dean of Education. He's got a red apple and a green apple. He worked that into his speech in some way. There's someone taking notes diligently. There is the governor of the state of Florida. Yes, he was a talker. He was also, that's the former lieutenant governor of the state of Florida, but the president of Florida Atlantic University. And of course, he was asked to speak. So I'll tell you what, this guy could, you want a 2-hour speech? He can give a 2-hour speech. If you want a 1-hour speech, he'll speak for an hour and a half. He knew how to talk. God. Whew. Yeah, there you go. There's the Dean of the Department of Education at Florida Atlantic University. That's a sideways look. And that's I think a frontways look. I don't know, are they two different people? Let's see, did this guy have they're different people. He is definitely the College of Education. And he's got a name badge on. Anyway, these are all dignitaries that came down from Tallahassee. I think this is a Tallahassee guy. He's got that Tallahassee look, don't you think? Anyway, this is a good-looking lady. She's on the board of governors of something. This is an FAU guy, but she was particularly attractive. I remember.
It's 3:30.
You can almost read her name tag. There you go. This guy's going through his paperwork. We could zoom in, but we're not. They were setting up the salad bowl. Oh, see, there's the bowl of apples. Yeah. This lady is taking notes. This is one of the students. I kept on shooting pictures here and there. There's a Uniball pen. You never know when some of these pictures, you can use them in a speech, when you're talking or writing, and say, well, you're not allowed to take notes. So you have a notepad there, and you put a big circle with a line through it. No note-taking. Your glasses must be removed. He's having a good time. There's two guys, I think that, I don't know who they are. This guy's got one of those. I had one of those. There's a leather cover, and it has, look at all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hole punch paper. You buy that each page is a day of the year, so you can take like notes right on there for the day. There's one of the other speakers. There's that pretty lady I was talking about. Didn't she? She's got that Hollywood look, huh? Yeah, hurry up and chop, chop, chop. I went back into the kitchen, of course. There's one of the gentlemen. Another, look at that. She's got READ as a diamond-studded pin. Read. Often. There's this guy. Yeah, all these people are 70 and 80. Not these people. Yeah. There's the president of FAU. He's being talked to by somebody. I tried to get pictures of. Yeah, they had a little trio of people serenading them during their luncheon. These were people that were invited to the president's house. You can see there in the middle, the president and his wife, and all the people that were there, either working the event or invitees. They all looked like they had name badges, so it looked like they were all invited guests. Of course, I was there because I had a camera in my hand. Oh, yeah. So I had one of those ladies, one or more of those ladies, set up the picture. And I got up on the stairwell to the second level of their private residence, which is the private residence of any president, sitting president of FAU. They all live in the same house, one at a time, during their 4-year terms. I think you can have 2 4-year terms. That's a guess. I think there's a term limit. Anyway, these are more people in the event. See, I'm long range away with a telephoto lens capturing some of these people because they wouldn't ordinarily pose for a picture. There's traditional three-ring binder. I think this 3-ring binder, I'm in a mode on my site now where I can't reverse pinch. But I think those binders with the paperwork inside them was part of the materials you got if you attended the conference. Yeah, that was one of the handouts. 3-ring binder with all the notes there. You can see it's like 100 pages of stuff. You know, this was, there's a little, whatever that is, like sliced turkey and, with some peppers as a garnish, just to make that meat board look good. But you could take whatever pieces of turkey you wanted. Gobble, gobble. Yeah, there's some happy people. I think the people with, it's hard to tell whether they're state of, on the name tag it tells where they, I think they're out of city. People that came in for the conference, flew in or whatever. There is someone, she has a microphone in her hand and she's asking a question of the speaker. There you go, there's I got that guy to pose. They have ribbons and things, so I don't exactly know what to think. I can't imagine what she looks like. She's paying the bill. I don't know. Yep, they're conferring before his speech. I think that's the dean of the College of Education. That guy right there. Yeah. These are like trustees from out of city. There you go. See, these are dignitaries in the president's mansion property. That presidents of Florida Atlantic University stay in at whatever. This black gentleman, I think, at that event, had a pain in his stomach and had to leave. I think there was an event with him, a medical event. it wasn't life-threatening, but I think he left early. That was before he had to leave early. I don't remember what happened to him, but I remember something happened to him. Here he was talking. Look at he was right before, the president of the university, because he could talk forever. There he goes. He's next. Yeah. There's 3 people. They're holding these glass-looking. They got prizes for something handed out by the College of Education, I think. And they posed for a picture because they were K. Yeah, if I could do a reverse pinch on her, I could read her last name. It's with a K or an H. K. Hammond? Camel. K. Camel. I think that's her name. I'm just trying to focus in on her name. I think it's Kammel. K. Camel. Director of the something. Don't. Darn it. Copy photo link. All right, I've copied it. Let's put it in one of my in my own, what do you call it, paste. There we go. Now I got the picture. Now let's open the picture. Oh, I think I have to send it to myself first. Yeah. So now I've sent it to myself. There you go. Now I'm going to open it. Go through all this just so I can reverse pinch. Is that right? Isn't that now in my save to photos? Oh, boy. All this to figure out what her name is. This all started from that picture. All right, we have to go this way. There she is. Yep, I was right. K. Camel, Director, Office of Family and Commercial Outreach. Consumer, Director of Office of Family and Consumer Outreach, Florida Department of Education. So she came from out of town. She has an FAU, that badge credential, let's use that as a credential, was generated by FAU because there's the, their insignia at the time. Literacy on Education. Yeah, see, that's the name of the program. So those are her credentials. Florida Department of Education. Yep, so there's something on her neck. I don't know what that means. Anyway, she's a nice lady. I talked to her. Don't remember anything. A long time ago. Let's go back to my website. There it is. There we go. Anyway, so you've gotten, and what you see up above, 416-1100.com. That's a place to go, folks, because If you ever get stuck, see Go Home button over here in the top left? Go Home. You press that, and it takes you home. It takes you right back. We already were home. If you want to contact us, you can send me... wait a minute. We got on home. There we go home. Okay, everything's good. Press contact us. And you see there, you can put your email address in there, put a subject line of what you want to talk about, and then here's your message. And then you press send. If I press send, and I haven't filled out that stuff, see it turns red, all that. Yeah, cancel, get back here. So if you saw anything on this website that aggravates you, you can always send me, contact us. It ends up in my mailbox. But I'll know it came from this website because the email is generated from this website and has a specific look to it. All the HTML code on this thing, we custom did ourselves. Yeah, but SmugMug, and a private entity called SmugMug, hosts all the pictures. But all the HTML code on this website, we did. Yeah. And every year it gets modified. And guess who does the modifying? Yours truly. Yes, I do. It's not easy being queasy. There you go. There's some... See, there's a money shot of a car. There's a whole series of... These are all events that I took pictures. Generally, I took pictures.
3:45.
Look at some of these. North Boca Barbecue. There's Marilyn. That's my Marilyn. There she is. She's a good looker. She's always been a good looker. All right. Can I get out of memory lane here? We'll just close this. All right, I'm back to the photos that are supposed to be guiding my conversation. This is an interesting image that was taken from a satellite way up above. And you can see the lighted area. These are all like lights from the ground of, I think, the coast. I think that's, I don't know what it is. Never mind. Oh, this might be the outline of the continent of Africa, come to think of it. Anyway, you see the green and the red is showing that there is not a consistent pattern of our magnetic field on planet Earth. Somehow or other, the magnetic field on planet Earth has changed in such a way that it's not consistent anymore. It has these strange anomalies. For years, NASA has monitored a strange anomaly in Earth's magnetic field, a giant region of lower magnetic intensity. That was identified in the skies stretching out between South America, and Southwest Africa. Yeah. So I thought that was the continent of Africa there, like underneath that red shading thing. There's more of a little article here. The vast developing phenomenon called the South Atlantic Anomaly, oh, that's a creative name, has intrigued and concerned scientists for decades, and perhaps none more than NASA itself. The space agency's satellite and spacecraft are particularly vulnerable to the weakened magnetic field within the anomaly and the resulting exposure to charged particles from the sun. That's interesting. I haven't focused before on that third little factoid. The space agency's satellites and spacecraft are particularly vulnerable to the weakened magnetic field within the anomaly. The anomaly is the red, if I understand this, a giant region of lower magnetic intensity. So it's almost like it's a hole. It's an oblong, pickle-shaped, if you will. If I had to describe it to somebody that's listening to me, you can see it. It is a red. Now it's not red in color. The satellite, the software that was used to measure the magnetic field structure of our planet, Earth, used green and red to depict the exposure differences of planet Earth as observed from this satellite, 44,000 miles above. And if we were to look around the edge a little bit, it looks like a red pepper or a red dill pickle. Yeah, geez. So I don't have an explanation for that. This is relatively new news because I captured this story. When? I lift up on the image and what do I get? Wednesday, November 19th at 8:19 a.m. That's this morning. Ooh, how interesting. At 11:19 a.m., yeah. I captured this morning. Anyway, someone was asking me what kind of plane I flew a long time ago. This is it. Cessna 172. A 1973 Cessna 172. You see remember the wing is attached to the top of the cockpit. That other red plane I showed you was the wing is under the cockpit. It requires, if I remember, some other level of, I'm not going to say licensure, but you had to be, when the wing is under the cockpit as opposed to when, here you're hanging from this airfoil. When the wing is under the cockpit, you're sitting on top of the wing that has the airfoil that gives you the lift. So there's a slightly different feeling of balance, if you will. If you let go of everything, you're hanging from the airfoil. But if you it's a very minor point, but if the wing is under the cockpit, single engine aircraft, the rest of it is similar. There is a different sense of balance when you have the yoke in your hand and you're steering the aircraft and you're looking down over the wing, so to speak. You're ahead of the wing, but it just feels different when you're flying it. I was trained on this guy right here. Yep. Someone in the hall, a casual friend of mine in the dormitory who lived across the hall from me said, "Hey Jimmy, I just got my," we're all going through our mail, so someone picked up the mail from I don't know where, and we get mail occasionally from relatives, parents, friends, other important mail, whatever. But apparently this young fellow that lived across the way from me in the hallway of the dormitory that I was in, I was rooming with two of our basketball players at Union. Yeah, Union College. And the guy across the hall, the doors were open, I didn't always, I left my door open because I was the dormitory counselor at one point. So I'm assuming I was the dormitory counselor because my door was wide open, door opened in. Big door, it's like a 40-inch door, 3.5-foot door, so that furniture and crap could move in and out without banging into the walls. Not that you'd move much furniture in and out of these rooms because they were pretty tight. Yeah, the three of us living in one room, I'll tell you, Whew. You had a set of drawers and you had a bed. That's it. You had your own set of drawers and a bed. There was a closet, yep, where you could hang up stuff. The three of us shared closet space. I remember, I don't remember how that was divvied up, but I had a some place where I had some hang-ups. Mostly everything was stuffed in the drawers. Not cleanly folded, necessarily. Anyway. So this gentleman that was across the hall, he says, "Hey, Jimmy, I just got my flight instructor's license. You want to fly with me?" I said, "Hell yeah." So I kind of got up or whatever, walked over to where he was, and he walked towards me, and he showed me his license. I said, "Cool indeed. What do you mean, fly with you?" He says, "You can be my guinea pig. You can be my first student. I just got this license in the mail today." I said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." He said, "All you got to do is split the cost of the fuel." So the fuel was pumped into the wings, if I remember. I don't know whether the fuel tank was in the fuselage somewhere. I don't think the fuel was in the wings. I'm looking underneath the wing to see if there's a port. I don't think so. I think the fuel tank was like between the wheels. I think it was in the bottom here, and the port to fill up the fuel was on the other side. That'd be a guess. Cessna 172. Call in and tell me, will you? I can figure it out. I can do a record search. Yep, I could contact the artificial intelligence people, ChatGPT 5.0 or whatever, and say, "All right, I got in my Cessna 172M, when you fueled it up with gasoline, where was the fuel port? Was it in the fuselage or was it in the wings?" And you know what? I'd get an answer. Let's do this. Let's forget the N, 1266. I'm just going to copy this Let's do look up and see what happens. Cessna 170 Skyhawk. Yeah. Show more. Let's do that. Show more, show less. 180 horsepower AKC engine. Let's do this. Wikipedia. You usually get a lot of information on here. There we go. Manufacturer Cessna. Textron Aviation. In production, 40. They built 44,000 of them. Wow. Good. Developed from the Cessna 170. First flight, June 12th, 1955. I told you there's a lot of interesting information. 44,000 units. No wonder my buddy had. This was his airplane, by the way. He flew it to school. Now there's an interesting character, huh? So he was licensed to fly the plane. And then later on during the semester, he actually took flight instructor classes, whatever is entailed with that, and was certified to be a private pilot instructor on at least a single engine aircraft. I don't know whether that encompassed two engines or one engine. You know, like two engines, one on each wing, or a single engine where it's mounted in front of you and from the viewpoint of the cockpit. Yeah, so just looking around here, it doesn't really talk about. It's a very safe aircraft. I mean, you let go of the controls and it just keeps flying until it runs out of fuel. It doesn't go down. It weighs 2,200 pounds, soaking wet, with a 145 horsepower engine. Oops. As you can see, I'm speed reading this thing here. 3,757, built in a 4-year period of time. Okay. They had a 300 horsepower engine. Yeah, they keep adding things and as time went on. So you got the 72F, you got the 72E, you got different model numbers. The Cessna 172F formed the basis for the U.S. Air Force's T-41A. Well, I was a trainer in the Air Force. So if you went in the Air Force and they wanted to train you how to fly a single engine plane, let's touch on this. Wikipedia is not telling me the answer I want to, so I'm just going to touch T-41A Mescalero. And there it is, the magic of, you see how fast it pops up? Because this has, I believe this has Apple's N1 chip, which is supposed to be super duper internet connectivity. But you saw how this just immediately went to the U.S. Air Force Wikipedia page on the Cessna 172 training vehicle. There you go, and you can see one right there. There we go. Beautiful. See, USAA Academy. I gotta have that picture. Save. It won't save. All right. When in doubt, print screen. We just do a print screen. We got it. Yeah, bingo. That's been saved. U.S. Army 15,000. So that's a similar aircraft. See the nice big puffy wheels? It's a, heck, when I was some dizzy student at the Union, I learned how to fly an airplane. Yeah, we went out 4 or 5 times. I should have said, hey, let me be a student. Give me the materials. And when you're done, you can certify me as a, and make me be a licensed person. That's what you got this ticket to do, right? I wasn't smart enough to do that. We just, had fun flying. I should have took advantage of his stupid thing. I should have been student number 1. That passed the testing, whatever testing there is. There's testing. You got to fly. You got to do a solo. It's a serious business because if you don't fly right, you could crash. There's the engine. 6-cylinder. There you go. Let's do a print screen of that. How often you get a chance to see a disassembled. Maybe they're putting a new engine in one of them. And that's it. This right there connects to the prop. See? Chugga chugga chugga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inline 6. So all the pistons are this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, those are 3. 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 the other way. It's 6 cylinders laying flat. 3 on one side, 3 on the other. These are the valve covers. The exhaust valve cover is the right one. Left, right, left, right, left, right. So all the right ones you can see are connected to the I'm going to say that's an exhaust manifold. Or is that the intake? I can't tell. I have to look at the rest of it more carefully. That could be the intake from the carburetor. May well be. And the carburation stuff is where those towels are stuffed into. Yeah, that may be. I could study that more. I get a schematic of the engine, but we're not going to. Yeah. We're going to go back to plane. What? Alec Wilson from Cone Con. Look at that. Republicus. Alec. Copyright Alec Wilson. Is he a friend or neighbor? Anyway, we looked it up. We didn't answer our question about the fuel, but we did get a chance to look at the Cessna 172 become commandeered by the Air Force for a training aircraft to teach people in the Air Force how to, it is the Air Force after all. And if you're a like-minded Air Force cadet of some sort, and you want to fly because you're in the Air Force, hello, before you get into a fighter plane, you have to learn how to be in a plane and learn how to take off and land and all the weather and the radio communications when you talk to the control tower and all that stuff. Yeah, that's part of your training. Which I did not partake. I don't remember talking to the tower. It wasn't, it was a long time ago, right? So they managed you had to file a flight plan, even though it was recreational flying. And you get cleared to take off, and you take off. And then they give you some instructions to get out of the airspace of the airport. There were flight vectors for takeoffs and landings, and they basically, You knew where they were because they were on your map. You had a map that you had to have when you flew. An aerial map. Like a road map, but with demarcations for the flight vectors for takeoffs and landings. Usually the little airports that we dealt with the private planes. Just have two, it could be just one runway for takeoff and landing. And, when you take a turn and you'd maybe have to fly in circles for a little bit of time. Yeah, if you're wondering what this circular business was, that's somebody that's flying in circles, waiting to get their turn to land. And you can see your aircraft going around and around. And eventually you're going to be on runway 141 with that arrow going in that direction. Yeah. But he's going around and around and around, waiting for his turn to land. He's already in the air. He's flying in circles. And as you can tell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's gone around in circles at least 8 times that I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I count 10 now. Yeah, I count 10. So he's been around circles 10 times. The final lesson before my solo involved landing, I tell you. So you have your flap considerations. You got to get it configured right. And yada, yada, yada. And then, you've got to get the controller to give you the signal that it's your turn, You're going around and around 10 times in the upper atmosphere. And then when the control tower says, okay, Jimmy Photo 1197, it's your turn to land. And Jimmy flashed, Roger Wilco. Here's another aircraft where the wing is attached under the cockpit. Remember I was saying that? This is a 1969 Grumman aircraft. Was an aircraft company I know. They had offices on Long Island making aeronautical stuff. Grumman Aircraft Company in Long Island. They could have had other places. But I know there was one in New York. I've been in it. Yeah. So, here's a fixed wing airplane with the wing. This is Cessna 172M, like mother ship. This was commandeered, the design was commandeered by United States Air Force Academy. The landing gear is not collapsible. It's a fixed landing gear, so it just hangs out there like that. Yeah. Yeah, these are the 2 rear ones, and you have a nose gear. They're shock mounted, they have nice pillowy pneumatic tires. So, Now, when you land an aircraft like this, you slow down to like 60 miles an hour when you land. Now, you might be flying up there at 180 miles an hour. But when you're coming in, you're coasting in, basically. The flops, afternoon. You see the flaps are extended and down. It adds a little more curvature to the wing. Gives it a little more lift at slow speeds. Yeah. You're used to the lift of the wing, airfoil, because you've been flying it around for a while. So when you extend the flaps, and it was like a lever, and you push down, maybe it was up here in the top. Yeah, it was up here in the top. You'd crank something or other you'd crank something and the flaps would go extended. Could be motorized, actually. I think it was motorized in the 172. Anyway, so that's an engine that's in one of these little one of these Cessna 172s. There's a new engine replacing probably an aircraft with less horsepower. So they may wanted to get this up to 200 knots. So it's a little bit of a faster plane. And this Cessna 172 was capable of 200 mile an hour up there in the air. Yeah. Very cool. I flew that sucker. Yes, I did. These other, that's a more, to me, this is a more attractive airplane. Yeah. Look at the way the design of the wheel, and of course you had the steering wheel up there. Your yoke would control the steering wheel, and look at the structure it was for the steering wheel, for the wheel itself, and that would. I'm assuming that this, I can't really tell whether this is collapsible landing gear. It's probably not. It's probably the wheels are always extended. They're not retractable. That's a 69 Grumman American. See, we can do the same thing. We can highlight these words and just press look up. We don't mean like up. We mean like look it up. And show more, show less, which gives you the same result. I guess you can go to Flying Magazine. That's apparently where that story was, huh? Yes, Flying Magazine. We're just going to go to Wikipedia so we can see the similar structure of what we saw with the other airplane. And just, that was manufactured from 68 to 78. 10-year period of time they made those planes for the United States Air Force. Introduced in 1968. Yeah. First flight was July 11, 63. Remember, this is a Grumman aircraft, not Cessna. Underside, there's the underbelly. Yeah, the landing gear was not retractable. You can tell from the underbelly. It's nice and smooth. There's the cockpit. I remember it. Yes, I do. Look just like that. Yep. You got the pilot and the co-pilot. You had your rotary instrument gear there. They tell you the RPM of the engine. You know, it'll tell you the angle of the dangle, you know, whether you're leaning forward or leaning back, or whether you're horizontal or not. This is one landing. All right, let's see. The Yankee Clipper. The AA-1B trainer and the TR-2 trainer. See, Grumman bought America Aviation in 1971, renaming it, the company, the Grumman American Aviation. That's a big fish eating a smaller fish. See, Lycoming, that is an engine manufacturing entity. The Lycoming 0235 C2C, low compression engine design. There you go. We're learning all kinds of things today, ain't you? I tell you, this show goes wherever it goes. You never know. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes. Holy God. We got people coming and going on this one. This was one of the rare mid-afternoons little talkies. And crew, one pilot. The general characteristics of the AA-1A. The AA-1A training. This is data from the American Trainer Owner's Manual. Oh yeah, you had to memorize that, by the way, to get your license. Oh yeah, you had to know how to take these suckers apart and put them back together again. Of course, that's right down my alley, because I'd want to take it apart anyway. And of course, put it back together. Yeah, here we go. Service ceiling is 13,000 feet. That's 13,750. That's as high as that could go. You wouldn't want to go higher than that. It could go higher than that, probably. But, you know, the air gets thinner up there, and there's no oxygen. So to go higher, you need oxygen to service your mask so you don't pass out and die. Not from lack of oxygen, because you'll pass out and then the plane will start going down into its more comfortable service ceiling, somewhere underneath 13,750. We flew at 5,000 feet above. I mean, I can look outside the airplane. I know when we're, from 500 feet to 5,000 feet. I can look out the window and tell you how high we are. If you're in a commercial airplane, I can look out. Oh yeah, we're about 10,000 feet. The people look at me like, "What the fuck's he talking about? Whoops, what's he talking about?" I happen to know what I'm talking about. I don't talk about it often, but look at that. The climb rate, 765 feet per minute. Yeah, that's a characteristic for certain. It could travel 488 miles on a full tank of gas, so to speak. Yeah, it had a range of 424 nautical miles and a service ceiling of 13,000 feet, roughly. Climb rate of 765 feet per minute. That's pretty fast. You feel that like on an elevator, you know. That's another thing I can feel when you go up and down an elevator. I can tell you how many feet per second you're falling. Look at that. The empty weight of that airplane is 1,000 pounds. Holy crap. That's pretty light. The whole damn thing weighs 1,000 pounds. Wing area, 98 square feet. The height is 6 foot 9 inches. So you walk underneath the wing and raise your hand and grab onto the wing and pull on the ailerons. wingspan 24 feet, and a gross wing area of 98 square feet. That's all. This is a one passenger. No one else is in. Not two. It's one. The pilot. Yeah, that's why they call it the A1A. That means now this one is not the AAA, but this is a the 1B, where you got the pilot and the trainer. Yeah. Yeah, I remember my friend took me up to like 6,000 feet, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to throw this into a spiral descent, a spin. I'm going to go straight up and turn the plane, stall the plane, and then it's going to fall down into a spin. And you got to break it out of the spin and get it flying level, so you don't go splat on one of these mountains. I showed you how to do this. We've practiced it. Now you have to do it. Pretend I'm your trainer." Of course he was. Pretend you're in the aircraft all by yourself. Or you're in the aircraft with your friend who doesn't know how to fly, and you're the pilot. And you stall the plane, and it starts to fall. When you stall the plane, that means you go so slow that there's not enough lift to keep the plane in the air. So it goes nose down, and it'll go it'll grind itself right into the ground. And of course, you're in the front of that sucker, and you're going to die. You go splat. You got gasoline and all that shit. It'll catch on fire, so you'll turn to be toast. But you'll already be dead, so you're going to be toast. You're going to be a dead frankfurter when you get burnt. Yeah, you won't feel a thing because you went splat. Well, you'll learn how to, take the plane out of a nosedive and stop the spin. You got to stop the spin first, and you use your foot pedals to do that. So you push the foot pedals in the opposite direction of your spinning, and that can help you get out of the spin. Yeah, get your rudder straight so you don't have all your control surfaces. Because your rudder, is back here on that vertical situation. So you use your pedals to get you out of your spin. And if you press it one way and it starts to spin faster, if you're so, disoriented, you don't know what the hell it's doing. So you push the pedal with the most resistance, because that means it's going against the spinning, and that'll bring it out of the spin. And then you got to look out and see what's going on, because when you push down on the pedal, that's the hardest to push, because you push one way, you're going to spin more. You push the other way, you're going to spin less, and you're going to spin so less that it'll stop spinning. So then you're going straight down, not spinning. So now you need to pull up on the yoke, which controls the back of the horizontal surfaces in the tail, and that'll bring you out of the dive, and you'll come right this way and then end up leveling out. That whole process, you might come down 1,000 feet. So if you're 6,500 feet up, and a procedure, takes you 1,500 feet to recover the plane from the spin and the dive, you still got 5,000 feet to go. So you got lots of time to get this. You got enough altitude to perform this maneuver to save yourself and your passenger and your luggage and this aircraft that probably cost $8,000 or $10,000 a long time ago. Yeah, I flew one of those. It's easy to, I mean, it's really quite easy to do. It's a lot of, you know, see here's in the middle, you have the throttle and the yoke. Oh, whoops. Oh, there you go. There's the cockpit. You see the red thing? That's your choke. Yeah. And you push and pull this white one to give yourself more speed of the engine. Remember, it's a single engine prop. So you pull that sucker out, it goes faster. You push it in, it goes to idle. Which means it'll start losing altitude, so forth. Yeah. The red one you trim in and out when you're starting the engine. Yeah. See that little button to the right of the red one? That's the starter. So you push one knuckle on that, and the knuckle and the finger is on the choke, and you kind of put the choke. You know the choke in about that position. Actually, the choke is pulled out a little bit further. Well, they're in the hangar because they got a garage door in front of them. So you push the choke in and pull it out to, like that halfway position right there. And then when you start the engine, you push that in and out, which controls the amount of the fuel mixture that's going in the cold engine, so to speak. When the engine gets warmer, then you ease up on the choke. Yeah, that's how that works. And then you learn about these different gauges. See there, you got the RPM, and you got this thing tells you if you're, how you're oriented with are you level? Are you leaning left? Are you leaning right? Do you want to lean left or right? This is some stopwatches. One of these gauges, this one right here, is your altimeter. It tells you how high you are in feet. There we go. There's the. We need to do a print screen of that. Haven't seen that in a long time. Like 50 years. Can you believe it? Yeah, 1967, 1966, 65, 66, I was flying. I was. Yes, sir. I was flying from the right side. No, I was in the left side. And my buddy was on the right side. Yeah, he was the trainer. See, I got more gauges on my side than his side because I'm the pilot. Now, he can fly the plane from over there, but he's just got to reach over, for these buttons and things. But this little doodad right here with the red, that's your engine. Yeah. Up here, these controls up here, this is for your radio. You can't tell where I'm pointing. On the, right over here. On the upper middle right, you can see some buttons and a digital display. You can almost see the red numbers there. 1220.5. That's a frequency. All right. That's in megahertz. Probably millions of cycles a second. And you'd rotate those dials to get on the right frequency because the control tower is on a certain frequency. So you can talk to those folks up there. Hello. And they'll tell you, when you're going from one flight vector to another from one controller's, if you're flying from here to there, your air traffic controller will tell you you're entering the airspace of control tower, whatever. Change your radio to 145.6. And then you rotate the dial to 145.6. You say, hey, this is Jimmy Photo 5596. Letting you know I've entered your control space with my Cessna 172 training aircraft. Be nice to me. And they'd be nice to you, or they wouldn't say anything, Back then, they were a little bit more friendly. Of course, if you're in an airfield where there's a lot of flight activity, they don't want you chit-chatting on those channels because there's a lot of business conducted. One plane after the next, and it gets crowded in a big airport. These little planes, you try to fly you don't go into LaGuardia. No. There are plenty of other airfields that you can land in that's, within of some reasonable vicinity to Manhattan than LaGuardia, where they got all these huge aircraft jets, where the air that's pumped out of one of the back of those things that blow you over. Yeah, if you got behind one of those, whoosh, it would put lift under your wings and flip you over. You'd be on your back. You need a crane to straighten you out. Yeah, you don't want to be behind a jet airplane, no. You don't see little tiny airplanes behind those big jets. And if they do, they're way behind. No, they won't do it. Because when they rev up those engines, they throw such a huge amount of it's like a 200 mile an hour wind hitting you in the face. More. Yeah, I mean it'll rip up your airplane. So here's your this SB 145. Yes, sir. You got a little tape on there telling you who the hell you are. That's your tail number. Yeah. Or maybe that is SV 145. Prohibited. In other words, stay off that frequency. Yeah. Don't go on SV 145, you schmuck. Because that's reserved for some other purpose. Yep. I've been on there. I recognize you see this gauge right here is right directly above the middle where that yoke, you push it in and pull it out. And you see this guy right here is connected to your altimeter. It tells you if your left or your right wing is above the other. And that goes straight across if you're level. And if you're not, that goes bipsic. You need to level out your wings, or else you're going to crash. All right, I've had enough of this. 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's time to go. Get ready for Marilyn is going to show up. Oof. And I've talked enough. People come and go on this broadcast all day long. I get up to, I've had 48,000 people coming and going. I have. There's something out there that measures all this stuff. between the three networks, I understand that I've generated up to 48,000 people listening and then leaving the channel and coming back or not coming back. Hey, look at this site, my site. I mean, you can't believe it, but you see this site right here? If I go to the very bottom here, whoops, no, if you go to where you come across this, that is the number of people that have visited this website. 26,424,000. And if you think that 052, that's the counter, if I hit the refresh button right here, right on the top, a little bit to the right of middle, boom, it's refreshing. Now I go back to the bottom, that says 053 instead of 052. That's a real counter. And I put a little revolving globe there, just for funsies. I came across it from somewhere. It's a GIF file that just spins all the time. And it's spinning the right direction. Because your sun is over here on the right side. Copyright since 1990. I used to say in that paragraph, in that copyright paragraph, when I redid this site, is a total overhaul, and pushed the counter to 000. Yeah. I wish the counter had apostrophes. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And the company, I pay a company to, I can press the counter and see what happens. It goes somewhere. It goes to the place where I pay. See, it says free web pages. And see, then you have all kinds of different counters. I picked a simple counter. Really, your counter can look like any one of these. I picked one that's, it's not on this list. Sign up free. Changing web counter. Yeah, I don't want to touch any of those buttons. I just leave everything alone. I hit the back button and the back on my site. There's Jimmy at West Point. Go to the bottom. 053. See, it came back to where it was. If I do a refresh, it's like someone coming in new, which no one would do except for me right now. I'll do a refresh again, and that'll change to 054. There we go. 054. There you go. I mean, I could keep doing that and keep adding numbers. No, thank you. I've had people from, I'm kind of proud of this, like from 160 different countries. Because there's another, maybe part of the reason why I pay these guys $10 a month. But I can tell, it's part of the back room stuff. I can see what country, I can see city, state, country, like zip code. I don't know who you are. It doesn't give you like name and address or anything. It just gives me from what city, state, and country, how long you were on there, what kind of a computer monitor you had, whether it's a 1080p, or, whether it's 2x, 4x, 8K, 4K, 2K display. So that would give a web designer information on their website. My website is a very high definition website because I have very high definition photographs on here of some very important people. You know this guy. He's in the news today. fellow right there. I photographed his concert in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Look at that shot. If that's not a CD-ROM cover, I don't know what the hell is. I offered to give him, look at this. I have got some shots from this guy. Blake Shelton concert from Indian Summer. And let's see if I touch one of those pictures. It's a JPEG. Yeah. Yeah. Look at the intensity. He was, now this is a long time ago. This is a long time ago. Here he's clapping his hands. He's looking over at one of the stage hands. You see the lights above his head? That was hard to get the exposure. So they were not in my face while I'm shooting his face. Indian Summer, there you go. That was the logo design that they came up with. See, there's the finish, and you got the floodlights in the background. There's that one. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah. Let's see. Can I download that? What does this say? Copy photo link. Yeah, I know. Then you can download it. I like that one too. See, here's one we got 4 rows of lights there. They're way above his head. I mean, those floodlights are, probably 6 or 8 feet above his head. Maybe higher, 12 feet above his head. So, and I'm standing down in a pit below him. I'm probably looking at his knees if I stood up all the way. Yeah. So all these are taken from the side and below. Yeah. Those floodlights are in a distance behind him. They're not directly above his head. It looks like they might be directly above his head, but they're probably 15 feet behind him and above his head. Those floodlights. Yeah, 2 reds and a white. Indian Summer, there are flags waving from the U.S. Bank building in the background. Yeah, I think it's U.S. Bank. Indian Summer. He completely filled the place. It's all outdoor, big outdoor arena thing. A lot of these are repeats from, as I go through this whole package of pictures. And there's another string of different exposures. Yeah, see, I'm now up to 25506. There are other people on the site with me. That's why that counter went up, because I was at 503, and there are 3 other people that came in here. All right, I gotta go. Listen, you all I have to, you know what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to end with the same thing I came up with. I go here. Oops. Today's the 19th, right? There you go. I push that image. I fill the screen with it. And then I fill the screen with it. That's it. Can I get any more full screen than that? Full screen. Oh, there we go. There we go. Everything went to black around it, yeah. This is how I'm supposed to end the broadcast. So you all have a nice evening, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. This is Wednesday. See you Thursday morning. Bye-bye. If you're still here, you get we're on here 2 hours and 49 minutes. Congratulations.